Here's what's making news now around Indiana. Brought to you by Chapman Heating, Air Conditioning and Plumbing. The man for all seasons, Chapman. ChapmanHeating.com. Well, there was a big announcement this week in Daviess County aimed at driving economic development and quality of life in the region. The Daviess County Economic Development Corporation announced the launch of the Advanced Daviess County Coalition. It's a group of business and community leaders focused on business growth and retention, supply chain creation, and quality of life in a post-COVID world. Now, the group's first initiative, the Daviess Driven campaign, is aimed at convincing decision makers that the planned mid-stage corridor should run through Daviess County.
The state has leveraged millions and millions of dollars into the creation of I-69. And it's still being completed, right? North of here into Martinsville and north, eventually hooking into I-465. So, you know, with the mid-states corridor proposed, it's a phenomenal new resource that would be great for the region if built. And from our perspective, we feel that Daviess County is a valuable and vital player in this process because of our proximity to I-69. Daviess County is rural in nature. We have some fantastic amenities here, some of the best hunting, fishing, lakes here at our part of the state. So you can live that rural lifestyle. You can have those opportunities, those amenities. But what I-69 has shown us and what the Mid-States Corridor will show us is that you can live here, you can have that lifestyle, but you can also have access to those larger city amenities.
State officials are currently looking at several potential routes for the Mid-States Corridor, which would begin near the Ohio River in Rockport and extend north, eventually connecting with I-69. An initiative in Northwest Indiana has received a funding extension through the end of the year as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. The Center for Workforce Innovations says the Skill Up program in LaPorte County, it's a collaboration with the A.K. Smith Career Center in Michigan City, has provided opportunities for students and adults to boost their skills in manufacturing for the last 3 years. The center says the program provides K-12 students, career and technical education students, and adult education students the ability to learn through manufacturing in the classroom, lab, and also real-world experience. Funding had been set to run out. Maryville-based White Lodging Services Corporation has extended temporary layoffs for more than 600 employees at 3 hotels in Indiana. In a notice to the state, the hospitality company said it notified the workers in March of the furloughs and possible layoffs as the COVID-19 pandemic unfolded. The hotels are the JW and the Downtown Marriott in Indianapolis and the Courtyard by Marriott in Fort Wayne. Well, this next story originated out of a garage in Cass County, where one man's woodworking hobby has turned into a big hit in the baseball business. Around Indiana reporter Mary-Rachel Redman has more from Logansport.
It all started on his grandfather's 1928 Sears and Roebuck wood lathe.
Sitting on his workbench covered in sawdust and it had some boxes on top of it, and I didn't even know what it was. And I asked him one day if we could just get it out and play with it.
And that he did. Young decided to make a miniature bat for his son Bailey.
I took the tools and he gave me a 5-minute crash course on how to hand carve. Still didn't know what I was doing. I made a makeshift bat. It looked more like a billy club. I didn't like it, so I took it out of the lathe and I threw it in the scrap pile.
But Grandpa was none too happy. He demanded Young take it out of the scrap pile and finish what he started.
Yes, sir, I'll get it done.
And that just may be the best advice Trampas Young has ever taken.
I gave it to my son. He thought it was the coolest thing ever. And I just thought, man, if maybe I can make my son a bat he could actually use in a game.
So the Logansport native, who by day works at the Indiana Department of Corrections, was gifted a larger woodworking machine, and he began making full-size bats by hand in his garage by night.
Like the next thing I knew, I'm out there just making baseball bat after baseball bat, trying to figure out how to make it work.
And that hard work paid off. In 2013, a local newspaper article featuring Young making bats out of his garage caught the attention of an old friend. Todd Stevens, who formerly played baseball at Indiana State University in the late 90s, now works as a medical device salesman in Carmel. He decided to reach out to Trampas and invest in his bats.
Todd came to me one day and said, man, maybe we should just try to work together on this and make it a business.
So Young and Stevens officially formed the Titan Bat Company in 2014.
It's just been blowing up ever since.
Young tells me he's produced and sold about 3,000 bats in 2019 and expects to double that number in 2020, especially now that he's moved out of his garage and into this 5,000 square foot facility to help with increased demand.
The demand is there. These bats that we make are I say they're the best bats in the country. When people start swinging these at the pro level, I just know it's going to explode.
And speaking of the pros,
We've got several guys that are minor leaguers or AAA guys that use our bats, but we have to be certified to be able to use our bats in the minor leagues, single A, double A, AAA, as well as the big leagues. So they can practice with them and use them. We've tested them against Louisville Slugger and everything else. But once we're certified, then they can use them in an actual game.
something that could potentially happen as soon as next year.
It's about a $30,000 fee to the major leagues. They come in and inspect your shop, they check the wood quality, and then you're in.
We're just going to persevere and keep growing. This is just the beginning.
In Logansport, Mary-Rachel Redman, Inside Indiana Business.
All right, Mary-Rachel, thank you.